Question is, if I provide my unpublished novel research ideas to AI tools for assistance, can those ideas be stored, used for model training, or later appear in responses to other users? How is confidentiality ensured? That's a very good question. So the question is, if I put some information to AI, in this example, it's some novel idea, but it could be something private, right? Something about my personal life, or something like, let's say I'm going through depression and I'm writing it, okay, I am depressed, blah blah blah. Give me an idea, and then, but I don't want people to know that I'm depressed. Just give you an example, right? So it could be some personal thing, or it could be some secret things, right? So these things, if I'm giving to AI tools, particularly if you are using a free AI tool, free AI tools uses all what the users used for its training, right? So they take all that for training, and when they take this for training, it's possible for those things to appear in some other place, but particularly it's important when the information that is given is unique and like novel and not out there. The program is to improve the AI literacy for those who in Sri Lanka. I don't know how many of you know, we are really good at literacy, like a general literacy. When you say literacy, we are talking about whether we can read, write, or we can count, we can add, subtract. Let's say we go to a shop, and can we buy things from there? And when you say buy things from there, we like read things, collect them together, put things together, and the shopkeeper, let's say they are giving you a bill. Can you read the bill? Can you understand the numbers are correct? And can you pay some money, get balance properly? So these are the basic literacy skill that is expected. And Sri Lanka, as you know, has a really high literacy rate, almost 100, some 97 plus. So 97 plus percent, right? So in the region, we are the best. But we, about a couple of years ago, did the first time we participated in an international or a global survey for checking the AI literacy. And unfortunately, our numbers are really bad. They are, you can't even say that bad, right? So then there were a number of discussions happened, and one of them was to see whether we can improve the university or higher education sectors AI literacy. So this program, what we brought with the partnership of a philanthropic organization in Singapore, known as AVPN. So what we are trying to do is to literate or make AI literacy available for education sector, right? So you might wonder, okay, so generally when you say AI, it is computer science, engineering, IT related field. But as you know, now artificial intelligence or AI is useful in every other discipline, and I'm sure that is why most of you are here from other engineering disciplines. So how AI can be useful for all such discipline is what we are encouraging you to know. So particularly in the area of AI literacy, the course that we are offering is known as the AI Fundamentals course. It's a globally recognized course following the UNESCO endorsement for AI literacy. And the course was originally designed by actually Google. In fact, a few others also designed similar courses. But basically what it covers is the basics everyone, not just the students, not just the education sector, but everyone, every citizen should know. It's very similar to the literacy, right? So 97%, I said everybody should know. Same way, because AI is accessible to everyone in one form or the other, and therefore everyone should know. So for Sri Lanka, this program is brought or coordinated by LEARN, Lanka Education Research Network, which is an organization run by all state universities and University Grants Commission. And we are running this program for all state universities and also other sectors to see how much we can improve the literacy or AI literacy. So just to give you a very simple, because you are going to start, all of you planning on starting this fundamental course. The course has 5 modules, and the idea is the course has 3 concepts, right? So 5 modules and 3 concepts. The concepts are about AI, right? So for instance, what is AI, right? So the first thing is, what is it, right? So for example, when you look at a system, we know, like, theoretically we know, right? Okay, or even in practice we know, okay, AI is something like a system. It has some intelligence. It can help you make decisions. That sort of things all of you know. Particularly engineering students definitely will know. But can we know a little more? For example, if you look at a system, can you tell this system whether it uses AI or not? Right? So both, whether a system uses AI or not uses an AI, both sides will have to we'll have to figure out. We should know. So that needs a little more understanding, little more onto what an AI system does, what sort of things it can do, how do we figure out that it does it, and so on. So that's the first thing, right? Maybe I can just show you a very simple diagram. Let me just fish it out. Yeah, it's here. This is, by the way, an AI generated diagram. Yes, I was also using AI 2 hours within the last 2 hours. But I didn't generate this diagram particularly in the last 2 hours, but I have been using it as well. Okay, so just to give you an idea, so this diagram is AI generated, yes, but it just gives you an idea of, when you look at a system, how do you know, like, whether AI is in it, right? So, or whether AI is not in it. Like, for example, we can think of a system like a camera, right? I mean, I don't know that you know cameras. I hope you do, right? Because we just use phones. But let's take a camera, and you want to take a photo from a camera, and a digital camera, and it takes a photo. It saves it in a SD card. You can download it, so on and so on, right? So that camera, does it have an AI in it, right? Obviously, like a phone, maybe on an app on a phone has AI in it. Like, if there are specific application like ChatGPT that was questioned earlier, has AI in it, obvious. But then there are like a camera or like a microphone, things that are systems that are like electronics and like runs on some, or any machines. Like, let's take a machine like I don't know, a CNC machine that you might have, or like any other, like what do you call this, a total station that you have. These machines used in different fields in engineering, do they have AI in it, right? So that is so to understand whether it has an AI in it, we need to understand what AI is and so on, right? So I'm showing in the picture. So AI has a certain behavior or characteristics, right? So it can, like, as of now, it can do these things. For example, it can understand language, right? So if you say something, or if you say meaning, like, you can type, or you can text, you can like voice in one of those forms. You say something, it understand languages, it understand what we are saying, right? So that's sort of like a natural language, I mean. So that's something that it can do. It can recognize images. It can recognize, right? Not just like take an image, but it can recognize, meaning it can know what's in the image. For example, if you take an image, and if you give an image, it might know, okay, so where is this image coming from? It's coming from a place or an animal, or what is that animal? So it can go into all these details. It can understand all this, right? It can also help you make predictions. Like, for example, it can look at what's happening. A simple idea could be, okay, weather. right? So this is what the weather was in the last few years, and different month of the year, day of the month. This is how the weather was, and today's weather is like this. Can it tell tomorrow's weather? Right? So that's like, can it predict? Right? So it can in fact predict. By using these ideas, it can also help you solve problems. Remember, engineering is about solving problem. I hope you know that, right? So AI system can help you solve problem. Nowadays, this thing called generative AI can also do more. It can also generate things, right? Make things. Earlier, it used to only help you to decide things or identify what it is, but it can now make new things. For example, earlier it can identify, okay, whether this is a dog or a cat. But now, by knowing how can it, first of all, how can it help you decide or identify is by knowing the past, but what a cat looks like, what a dog looks like. But now by knowing that, it can also generate a new cat image or a dog image or one of our images and so on. So it's not just an image, it can generate all sort of different forms. I saw that some of you have been talking about coding, so it can code. It can also code by knowing how people have coded in the past for solving certain problems. It can also, by doing these sort of things, it can also support making decisions. So these keywords, solving problems, making decisions, identifying something, grouping something, classifying something, understanding something, generating something, these are things usually people used to do, now machines can do, right? So that's so if a machine does any one of these things, then such machines has AI in it, right? So that's the idea behind what AI is and what is not. So remember, going back the three things in the literacy. First thing is, what is it, right? And obviously, when I say what is it, what is all, we also should know what it is not, right? If we look at the system and say, okay, this system doesn't seem to have AI, so it's not. It's just a system that has certain things that are happening. Like systems can be a machine, system can be any big system that are connected together, like for example internet, right? So these systems could be like internet, as you know, like a lot of computers, devices connected together in various through various different media. So those are systems, but they by nature they don't have AI in it, right? So it depends on the like where you apply. So like that, you should be able to know what it is not, both sides, not just one. That's the first one. So the second one is AI's applications, right? So I told you the three things that are important in the literacy. Second one is the application, right? So when you say application, technically, what are possible to do with AI systems? One, I told you what it is, right? So let's say as a system, like the camera example I took, let's say the camera is just taking a photo using a sensor, capturing the light that is coming in through a sensor and recording it into a storage. If that is all what it is doing, there's no AI in it, right? So a camera might be a camera that just the camera, it doesn't have an AI in it. But now it's possible for us to make such a system with an AI in it. So that's an application. It's possible to make just a camera, an AI-enabled camera, a digital camera, an AI-enabled camera. What it can do, I hope I don't have to tell you, right? So I am assuming like most of you will be using all these social media platforms, including TikTok and whatnot. All sort of things that it does, all sort of filters that it does, all sort of nice, even the Zoom call we are on, this is not exactly how I look when I go out and face to face see, right? So this is like different, it's like polished and so on. So what this Zoom call is doing is it's taking the image and doing some filtering, optimizing, polishing, different things it does, right? So camera can become one like that. So what I mean by that is application, we should know more, like where can we apply, where are the places where it is applied, where can we apply, and where we cannot apply it. There could be places where we cannot apply, right? So those are the second item, application, where it's possible to apply, technically possible to apply, right? So it's not just about a game. We can just like apply it anywhere we want, right? So that like some of the answers you gave, everything that we do seems to be AI now, right? So in fact, for those who are saying like everything that we do can have AI, a recent study, like I think the study, okay, it was released by Stanford AI report in February this year or April this year, like just a couple of months ago. The report says household or like usual work that we do, not studying, just usual work, let's say in a home, the things that we do, AI systems can only do about 12%. 12% of the regular work we do, right? I hope you have seen enough quotes about things like, okay, AI system can do various other things. It can think for me, but it can't cook for me, or it can't wash for me and clean for me and so on, right? So, therefore, what I was trying to say is the applications where we can apply it, we'll have to know. Just to give you an idea, like let me also, the different type of application, maybe it's, you have seen this video, but let me play the video. It should be somewhere here in one of the slides. Just let me bring that up. A video to show the different type of application, not just generative AI and doing assignments, but in general AI, artificial intelligence, in various application, how it can be done, right? So that's the second item. Let me find that video. Okay, let me share the screen again. It's sound. Sorry, I got mixed up. Let me do one more time. Yeah, let's play this video, and let me play this video, and it has some interesting application. Just to give you, it also has a lot of engineering applications actually, but then there are others as well. But all of these application has AI, and also obviously when you have AI, there's also not just computer science, it's also engineering of various nature. Let me play.
Visionary. Illuminating galaxies to witness the birth of stars. And sharpening our understanding of extreme weather events. I am a helper, guiding the blind through a crowded world.
I was thinking about running to the store.
And giving voice to those who cannot speak.
Do not make me laugh.
I am a transformer, harnessing gravity to store renewable power. And paving the way towards unlimited clean energy for us all. I am a trainer, teaching robots to assist, to watch out for danger, and help save lives. I am a healer, providing a new generation of cures and new levels of patient care.
Doctor, that I am allergic to penicillin. Is it still okay to take the medications?
Definitely. These antibiotics don't contain penicillin, so it's perfectly safe for you to take them.
I am a navigator, generating virtual scenarios to let us safely explore the real world and understand every decision. I even helped write the script. Breathe life into the words.
En muchos idiomas.
Y escribí la música.
I am AI. Brought to life by NVIDIA, deep learning, and brilliant minds everywhere.
So I was talking about applications, and this video is about a few different applications. In fact, like this video is a bit old now. This is from 2024, 2 years ago. But just to give you a glimpse of the applications, you can see the type of applications, right? So first thing it is about like space, right? Astronomy or astrophysics, all sort of different things, right? So it says it's a visionary, blah, blah, but it goes into the space type of application. Think about an application like this, right? So usually, so these are like people going and looking through telescopes to find different stars, galaxies, planets, whatnot, right? So all of these things. So we know a lot about what's around us in this big galaxies and universe. So to know all that, we have spent so much of time looking through what is happening, and some of these things are coming way late to us through the light and so on, and you know all this. So earlier it used to be people sitting and observing, sitting and watching. So if they miss, these are all coming, we can record them, but if you want to watch them later, you have to spend a lot more time, right? Or we have to put additional people to watch them. Now it's possible to have an AI systems to watch through it. So only when there are anomalies. In fact, AI systems are really good at finding anomalies. Things are not normal, not like a regular thing, something different. You can easily find. So nowadays it's possible to find anomalies using this sort of system, and people can only go and watch them when the AI flag, okay, there seems to be something wrong here, go and look at this, or something different here, something new here. So that's just an application you can see where image, AI systems and people were coming together and can find new things. In fact, like AI systems are used to find all these new things as well, right? So there are just more applications you can see as we go. That is like a navigation or like helping assistive sort of technology. Right, so if you can't see, now you can see, and so on. So that technology is not just used only in people. That's the same technology as is used, or a similar technology that is used in vehicles. Right, so I say similar because vehicles are running much faster. Right, so you have it in a very better scale. Like not like people walking. We can't put the same technology. Then vehicles will all be in an accident. Right, so that's another one. Right, so where there's a lot more, and then there's others like people who can't talk. Now can talk by brain, the different type of signals, ECG, CEG, so in this case EEG, and different type of signals, and can also tap onto the brain to get signals. Instead of like non-invasive, can you also have invasive techniques and different things, right? So many those things are happening, and they are all understood. And another application in energy, right? So when there is energy, we save it as potential energy. How much to save, whether it's benefit, like a lot of calculations happen, a lot of decision making happen. These things can be now done by using autonomous or AI based system, right? So there is like you see a lot more applications, right? So more application, humanoid robots. This is for like something like what you call physiotherapy type applications, operating theaters with cameras, and can AI systems help you with remote robots and so on, specific applications like that. And just an app like you might already know, type of app that can just talk to you and help you. More is on vehicle, right? So transport type application. But then the most interesting one for me is the next one, which is like a music generator. In fact, like this music for this video, the one that I played a little while ago, was completely composed by an AI tool. You can see it here. Original music composed by AI. The tool is called IVA. That's the one composed this music. But as you can see, it's arranged by a person and also performed by an orchestra, real people. You can see in the video, right? So how AI and people can come together and do it. Like, so if you ask something like music generation, is it an AI application? Generally, we would have said no, but now it's a possible application, right? So that's a possible application. So technology, it's possible. So this is what I meant by the second item in the three in the literacy. The second item is applications, where AI can be applied, where it is being applied. What are the potential places where it can be applied? Technically, what's possible. So to know this, we need to know more than just like this is what AI is. AI means brain, AI means intelligence, or artificial intelligence. That itself is not enough. So the literacy program or the foundation, or the fundamental program that we are doing covers those areas. Then the third item, so three I mentioned, like the second one is application. The third one is, yes, okay. There are techniques and also there is a technology that we can apply to places, right? So the third question is, my third point is, okay, if we can apply it, is it okay to apply it everywhere? You were saying, right? So we are using AI everywhere, everything, almost everything. Someone wrote, right? So is it okay to apply AI in places where it's technologically possible? Can I, like all of you are listening, and can you raise your hand if you say yes? The question, let me repeat. Let's say AI is technologically possible to apply to some place. Is it okay to apply to that place? Always. Those who are saying yes, raise your hand. So technologically possible, is it okay to do it? Is the question. Wow, so many okays. I said overwhelming.
You better give some examples.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to give, don't worry. Okay, so thank you. Somebody says it depends. Yes. So engineering is, yeah, we'll have to, it's also all about, the answer should be it depends, right? So thank you for those who raised hand, and you can put it down, and most of you only, I think, observing. But okay, let me take an example, right? So Pramila Madam asked you to take an example. Let's say the example is today, right? So today she asked me, or at least like brought me in to talk to you all, right? So I'm doing an utility. I'm doing something here. I'm coming and telling you about AI literacy, the three things, what they are. These are the applications. This is what AI is, and these are things I'm doing, right? What if she is not bringing me, but an AI? Right? So you saw the AI, right? The AI that talked to the patient about medicine, take this, don't take this, blah, blah, right? So she brought an AI, and the AI is somebody's, I don't know, like Sam, right? So Pramila introduces, okay, let me meet Sam, an expert in AI. And the AI, Sam will tell you what AI literacy is, right? So is it technically possible or technologically possible? That's the first question. Is it technologically possible? The answer is an absolute yes, right? So, like now AI systems can talk about medicine. It can help you to like figure out medicine. So obviously it can talk about AI, right? So AI system can talk about AI. So it's possible, right? So then the question I ask is technologically or technically whether it's possible. Yes, it's possible. So the second part of it is, if it is possible, are we going to do it? Are we going to do it? Right? So why didn't she bring an AI? What brought me? Is it because he doesn't have access to an AI? Or shall we ask her? Or is it something else? Right? So if you just think about it a little further, you will realize a couple of things. One, if she brought another AI to sort of teach you about AI, right? It's about teaching, right? So let's say like in a very limited way, teaching about AI. Then what happens is I'm going to lose my job, right? I'm not going to be a teacher anymore because you have an AI teacher who can teach about AI and anything else, right? So I'm going to lose job. Is it a good thing? Not so good thing for me. Maybe it's a good thing for you. We don't know, right? So, but it's not a good thing for me. At least part of the society, like people who are teachers, are going to like. Let's say AI is replacing teachers, right? That's the situation. So it's bad for all the teachers. First thing. So should we do it? Okay, if it is bad for teachers, but if it is good for the full everybody, yes, let's say it's good for all the students. If you take teachers and students, if you take our faculty, we have 2,000 students and 150 teachers, 120, let's say 150 teachers. So if it is good for 2,000 students and if it is bad for 150 teachers, maybe we should just do it, right? Fire all the teachers and the 2,000 people are benefiting by 150 people losing jobs. But is it only that? So to think further, if you replace all the people, teachers with machine teachers or AI teachers, would the students really learn everything that they are supposed to learn? Because remember, the students are still people, not AI, right? So if they learn from AI teachers, would they learn everything that they had to learn, but they learn from an AI teacher, like a real teacher, I mean, right? For example, simple thing. Let's say some of you who are sitting and listening to this might want to be like teachers, like big people. Okay, I want to be like this. I want to be like that. Would you want to be one like a robot or an AI? Let's say an AI is coming and teaching. Would you sitting and imagining, okay, I want to be one like this, right? Would they be able to would AI be able to be good role model? That is my question, right? So just an example. There could be a lot of things I can talk about, but even if we do such replacement, as somebody wanted to say, yes, I see an answer. Okay, that's a previous answer. So, so therefore, there are situations where we'll have to be careful, cautious, right? So when to apply AI and when not to apply AI. Remember, I told you the second thing is to know whether AI can be applied as a technology to solve a problem or in a situation. That is the application. But the third one is the responsibility or the responsible use, or we call it the ethical use, responsible AI, ethical use of it and whatnot. It is about, in a situation, if I'm going to apply AI, what's its implication? When I apply it, would it mean people are going to be, or the society, people, world is going to be at a disadvantage? Are they going to do some harm? So if so, we should not introduce, or we should find ways of how to mitigate it, right? So that's the third part. So knowing AI literacy or having AI literacy means not just knowing AI, not just knowing its potential applications and the existing applications, but also knowing its implications. If you apply it, what happens, right? So these are the three main things about AI literacy. And in the program, in the AI Foundation course, those are things that we'll be covering. In fact, we'll be covering it in modules and more details and try things out, but that's what we are going to cover. I know, Pramila, you asked a very small question. I gave a very long answer. I hope that a good introduction to what we want to do.
Then, sir, you showed a lot of examples, that engineering examples and all that, what AI can do with that video as well. Then I have a question. Would you say AI is replacing engineers or making good engineers even more valuable?
Somebody gave an it depends answer, so I'm going to pick that. So it depends, right? So whether AI is going to replace engineers or AI is going to make better engineers, the answer, it depends. But what I mean by it depends, right? If you see it's not just what I'm going to say next is not just for engineering. It's also for teachers. It's also go for doctors. It's also go, for anybody else you can think of. Not everybody else you can think of, but most of the field. Right, so you can think of particularly field where there is cognitive work, like like you, most of you, when you said AI can do almost everything that you are doing is doing with AI, you are talking about such things. You're talking about things that you do in a computer, or things that you do in like using like digital format things, right? So those things, the people who rely more on those, even engineers, they do, because any design, anything that they do, they in any field they rely on those. Doctors, they do, right? So certain, even if you saw examples where AI can even do things like operation or help operations and so on, even other things that are like not just cognitive but psychomotive, other type of skills also AI can do to some extent. So the question is whether it's going to replace engineers or whether it's going to enhance engineers work. So first thing, if you think it's going to replace us, what it also means is that it can do like us, which means it's good, right? It's sort of good, right? So it can do something like us. And if it is going to replace us, it looks like it's going to do better than us. That's why it can replace us, right? So the concern is, okay, can it do better than us? So the answer is certain places now, yes, it can do better than us. There are evidences to show that it can do better than us, right? But not in every place. There are enough places where it cannot do better than us. Even technical like places that you can imagine, they can't. Like I mentioned this example, right? I told all of you, only 12% of a day-to-day work or household work AI systems can do actually do better than us. But there are things like example I took, like image classification or classifying, grouping images. Let's say you have 1,000 images on like with you in a folder. You want to identify what is what, right? If you give it to a person, if you give it an AI system, AI system can do much better, faster, more accurately than people, right? But people are going to take longer time. But on the other hand, if you want to do something as a household work, the only about 12% AI system can do, and therefore they are not very useful, right? So, and also the examples I brought, like where there's human skill, like training people or teaching others, so like raising kids and raising people and making people better and mentoring people. Those are things. It's not just about a technical thing. It's more. It's not but a machine. Even if it's an AI, it's still a machine or a system. What a system can do and what people can. Right. So therefore, machines can do certain things better than us. People can do some other. So the question, why I said it depends, and also why I said like whether some people lose and not, it depends, is that if you think like the previous, maybe I can take the same example like the teacher example. If you think the teacher is the one who's going to come and teach you only the 3 type of AI literacy skill, if they can come and just say, okay, they'll result these 3 things, and but the learner get out of it is only that 3 things, not anything more. If the learner is getting out, the learner learns, okay, there are these 3 things, not anything else. Not about how the teacher behave, how the teacher interact with you, whether you want to be using the teacher as a role model, whether you are going to be following the teacher, you are going to be like a good human being, the teacher is being humble, an AI bot can be humble, nice and all that because it doesn't have emotions. But people, how we change, so those things can a learner, if the learner is learning, and the same applies for engineering, right? So if engineering, the type of things people bring in, because engineering systems are built for people. Any engineering systems are built for people. So it's possible, and therefore all of you have to identify which parts AI systems can do well and which parts people can do well, and we'll have to figure out how to put these together. In fact, like there's a lot of work done in this area on identifying what AI systems can do and what people can do, and we have to put them together. If an engineer thinks my responsibility is like a machine, I build systems, then those engineers are going to be out, right? So, but if the engineer thinks, okay, I still have the human ability to understand the people's problem and to solve their problem in a humanized way, in an ethical way, in a responsible way, then they are going to use AI systems. Now that AI system can do some part of this work, it's possible for the engineer to spend more time doing the human thing more. Earlier, the engineer has to do both, everything, right? So now it's possible for AI can be used for doing certain parts. Engineers get more time to do. I mean, it applies to any field. I just took engineering because you asked about engineering. So that's where I think we are. And therefore, we have to be very careful and be aware and be vigilant of what is happening. You talked about jobs and things like that. Maybe I can just share one stat about jobs that is again coming from study. I'm just sharing the report from World Economic Forum. This is global employment change by 2030, right? So it talks about the job market globally, and by 2030 what is expected, right? So each box here is million jobs. You can see it somewhere here, million jobs. So this is an estimate from World Economic Forum. They annually do what is known as future of jobs survey. So this is the 2024 survey, and they released it 2025, and this one says the estimate by 2030, in 4 years time, is that we are going to lose, the purple color things are jobs destroyed. We're going to lose about 92 million. There are 92 boxes here, 92 million jobs. And we are going to gain or regenerate or jobs created, new type of jobs are going to be created, which are about 170 million, 170 boxes. So the jobs are going to change. So even if you take engineering, it's no longer going to be like the usual engineering that we do. It's going to be different. Certain things machines can do, and therefore engineers have to work on certain things. So ultimately, if we can come together and if we can identify what machines can do well and where we can focus, we can improve our engineering experience and also the job. So therefore, it's possible to improve the job. But then we have to go forward. We can't just be the same engineer and improve jobs. If you be the same engineer, maybe you'll lose jobs, right? So that's where it is. In fact, like the same study also identifies this is 2025, it was reported, the core skills it identified, and I had just highlighted the top 10 out of the 26 that is in that graph. And you can see a lot of things there are about people, right? So resilience, flexibility, agility, leadership, social influence, motivation, self-awareness, even analytical thinking and critical thinking. Those are people skills. Some of them AI can also do to some extent, but people skills mostly. Empathy, active listening, curiosity, service orientation, like customer service, knowing what people want, sort of things. So those are things. Right? Yeah, I hope I gave an answer.
Yeah. That's a good point. Like even this final point, it's good. Start for my next question as well, sir, because almost every student here, I'm sure that at least they use ChatGPT at least once. I'm pretty sure. And my question is, what is the right way to use AI for learning without becoming dependent on it? Because I saw in our second question, they use for everything and something like that. They used already, but without becoming depending on AI, how they're going to use it in the right way? Sometimes we use it for research. What is the limitation? How we are going to use it in the right way? How you are going to advise on this answer?
So the term depend on it. To be honest, I don't know whether we can go independent of it. So
Okay.
the dependency is going to be there, but on what we depend, on what we don't. is the question. So, and also we'll have to make sure, like, right? So, I mean, I think I gave answer. I told what I said. What I'm going to tell you next. I already had told it in a different way. I gave different examples, but because now you're talking about students and learning and something that is very relevant to them, I'll take the learning itself as an example, right? So I took other examples. It's the same thing, but I'm going to say it in a different way, right? So remember in the literacy, I said there are three things. The third one is responsible use, right? So the question is about responsible use actually, right? So if you are a student, responsible use, what it means, right? So let's say you got an assignment, a homework, right? A homework to do. Now that AI can do everything from your perspective, almost everything, if not. So, and therefore, the easiest option is to get an AI to do it, right? So you can get an AI to do it, and that I'm sure, like, I don't know, maybe 95% of you be tempted to do that, or if not 100%, right? Why I'm saying 9500 is, in fact, AI tool use, like particular tools like generative AI tool use, globally, the numbers are 4 out of 5 students, they say they are using AI. But I think the numbers are much higher in a country like Sri Lanka compared to certain other countries. So 4 out of 5 university students are using AI. I'm sure 5 out of 5 engineering students are using AI, right? So which means everybody is using AI. And also, as you might know, like things like ChatGPT is used globally a lot. These days, every day or every week, average is about, I think it's about 850 million people are using AI every week, like ChatGPT particularly, not AI. Then, if you add all of them together, more than billion people are using every day ChatGPT like platforms, and ChatGPT platform became so popular very fast. In fact, like ChatGPT became like it reached 1 million users in just 5 days. It's very, very popular, and it is used by 850 million people every day now, or every other day. Like if you take a week average, it's like that. So it's a lot use, and I don't know whether we can just get rid of it. But how do we use it responsibly, right? So now like ChatGPT can do certain things, or any other tool, any other AI tool can do certain things. So how do we use it responsibly is the question, right? So the assignment example, if you take AI tool to do an assignment, how do we do it, right? So let's say you are given a homework. You're supposed to produce a report, or you're supposed to produce answers to questions. You're supposed to solve some maths problem, or you're supposed to whatever it is, right? So one of these things you are going to do. Now what you can do, you can just take a photo of the submission, or if it's an electronic form, it's already in the electronic form. You can just upload it to a tool and download the answer, submit it. You can do it in, like, let's say the homework is expected to finish in 8 hours. You can do it in 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Right? You can do it in so short of a time, 3 to 5 minutes instead of the 8 hours, right? So is it a responsible use? For second thing, like the first thing I want to clarify or know is it possible? Right? So application, is it possible? Is it possible to use an AI tool now to answer a particular homework assignment that was given to you like that? Right? So most probably the answer is yes. Right? So it's possible now. The AI tools are becoming so good, and in particularly in situations like a subject, a concept, solving a simple problem, not a life like an engineering problem where you go 100 engineers work for 3 months to solve a problem, or 6 months to solve a problem, but like a homework problem which is 8 hours long, AI tools can solve, generally can solve. Unless the one who is preparing the question put a lot of thought and come up with some ideas, right? So it's possible to solve. So 3 minutes, 5 minutes, done, right? So, but is it a responsible use? Obviously, the answer is no. Why the answer is no is the very first thing. Why is this problem given, right? So why is this problem given is for you to learn. For you, I mean, it's not that the one who is the lecturer or the professor who is giving you the problem doesn't know the answer. He or she wants all of you to answer it and give it to you so that he can use it to do something. No, not that, right? So the whole idea of giving homework is for you to learn, right? So for the students to learn, right? So for if you want to learn, there are a number of like studies, research done. What it says is you can use AI to learn, obviously. I hope you already know AI tools have ways to learn. You can make it like a learning partner. You can ask it to ask questions. You can give answers. If the other way around, different things you can do. You can make it to learn. Even you can use it to learn. Let's say you have the homework given and there are terms that you have and things that you don't understand or things that are not clear or things that you want to brainstorm, like think about it further, reflect on it, and all that you can use, right? Therefore, the estimated time, how fast, like I told you, like an 8-hour question, you can do it in 3 hours, something is wrong, right? So you are not learning, right? So what the studies or research says is if you spend about 3 to 4 hours for an 8-hour work, which means you are making it faster by 2 times or 2.5 times, somewhere like that. If you make it 2 times faster, you still can, if you effectively use it properly to learn things better, solve problem faster about 2 times, you will still be learning. That is what the studies say. So you have to do it like that, not like in 3 minutes, but if you slow it, like make it a bit better, right? So I'm just giving you this in times because if it is work, I'll have to explain each different type of work one by one. So what I'm saying is, in terms of time, if you can, if a work is expected to be finished at 8 hours, if you finish it in 4 hours or 3, 4, 5 hours, then you are still in the realm of learning things and doing it on your own sort of way with using these tools. So then you still learn, not anything more. If you do it faster than that, it means you are losing the ability to learn. So the funny thing is, if you can do this thing in 3 minutes, and if that is all what you learn, now I hope you know there are AI systems which are known as agents and agentic AI, so people can just click a button and ask an AI to do that part of work. Upload, download, give it to you, back to you. So we don't need you. We don't need people we don't need graduates who are learning or who can only do that. Right? So that's going to be an unproductive thing to do. Right?
Yes, thank you for the answer, sir. Again, for an example, I have a couple of examples. I'd like to share it for students' information as well. Like now, they're using this work for their research work, their project work. In that case, should university require students to disclose this AI use? This is one example. Earlier, something happened like 2-3 years back when they use ChatGPT as an author in their research article. This is one example I found. Likewise, if they use, because sometimes we use it for different level of our research work and all, are we going to put them as an author or are we going to acknowledge it, or how we are going to work properly if you use AI? The very simply that how students should university require students to disclose the AI use?
Okay. So the answer is yes. First thing, I think, I don't know, I mean, like every other university, we are also, so all of us also had to be more, when I say all of us, I'm talking about the university, administration, teachers, all of us had to be first transparent about this discussion, right? So we'll have to first discuss, okay, as you know, like students think we can do everything with AI, and teachers think we can do everything with AI. Then we don't need teachers and students. We can put two sides of AIs to do both, right? So everything, right? So we teachers and students can go somewhere else. So therefore, we had to bring this conversation clearly, transparently. So that conversation itself, the conversation itself had to be transparent, and then the usage obviously had to be transparent, right? So the teachers have to, or the lecturers have to decide or tell the students what's the best way to do it, right? So where to use, where not to use, how to use, how not to use. They'll have to tell, and also they'll have to tell the students, if you use it, this is the way to use it. So the example you took is a very good one. Actually, what I mean by that is, in research nowadays, all the research articles when you write, most of the people who are accepting those research articles, like we call them publishers or conference organizers, they have what is known as AI author guideline, right? So author guideline, they have the AI part of it. So if you are using AI, what do you do? Almost all such guidelines accept that AI can be used in some places, not every place, but some places. And those places, the main point is, the author, the one who is writing the article, has to say how AI used AI. And then you have to say, okay, this is how I used AI. This is what I did. Had to be transparent about it. So the students have to do the same thing. Let's say for example, now I'll take the student example, right? So let's say, for example, now I'm telling the students, okay, here's the homework. You can go and use AI, but tell me how you used it, right? So which is different from, here is the homework, go and do it, don't use AI. Or here is the homework, I'm not telling you anything about it, right? So these are different aspects. So one is, I'm saying, okay, here's the homework, you can go and do it. You can use AI, but tell me how you used it. So obviously, if you are reasonably genuine, you are not going to go and do the homework in 3 minutes and come and tell me, sir, what I did is I uploaded it to ChatGPT, I download the answer, copy pasted to a file and submitted. I won't be saying that as a student. So there is more in it. Like the students will also start thinking, okay, what else? What does it mean? In fact, like the teacher can also be more clear and say, okay, these are the places you can use, these are the places you can't. But at least at simple way, you can say, show us how you used it. Right? So when you say even research, that is what they are doing. Like research publishers, they are saying, show us how you used it. Then like somebody who is submitting an article can't say, I asked AI for an article and AI gave me an article, I submitted it. Will they say like that? No. So they'll say, okay, this is the research, I started like this place I used AI, this is the input I gave, this is the output I got, this is the experiment I did, this is the results I got, I gave this result to AI generated this report like this, or AI generated the graph like this, I interpreted the graph like this. So AI and me together, right? So that's sort of an experience. So that's how they are going to share. So keeping it transparent will also allow us to make the AI use responsible, right? So that is what the students also have to do. But then now we are in a transition, and therefore these things are not clearly laid out. But if the teachers are not telling you, or like whoever is giving you the assignment are not telling you, think about the responsibility. Actually, you are responsible for you. You are learning. Right. So if you don't learn by using AI, then you are wrong. Right. So because you are missing your responsibility. Right. So forget about everybody else. Individually, each one of you is responsible for your learning. So make sure you take that responsibility seriously. I hope I gave the answer. In fact, there is a forward message for me. Let me also answer. It's something related to the topic we are discussing. So the question is, if I provide my unpublished novel research ideas to AI tools for assistance, can those ideas be stored, used for model training, or later appear in responses to other users? How is confidentiality ensured? That's a very good question. So the question is, if I put some information to AI, in this example, it's some novel idea, but it could be something private. Right? Something about my personal life, or something like, let's say I'm going through depression and I'm writing it, okay, I am depressed, blah blah blah, give me an idea. And then, but I don't want people to know that I'm depressed, just give you an example, right? So it could be some personal thing, or it could be some secret things, right? So these things, if I'm giving to AI tools, particularly if you are using a free AI tool, free AI tools uses all what the users used for its training, right? So they take all that for training. And when they take this for training, it's possible for those things to appear in some other place. But particularly it's important when the information that is given is unique and like novel and not out there. Right. So if the idea is, let's say it's a simple, like the depression example, right? So if I say, okay, I'm depressed, blah blah blah, depression like millions of people have, as long as I don't associate depression with my name, my university, my thing, blah blah blah. If I just say, okay, go anonymous and say I'm depressed, blah blah blah, maybe like million people have depression, and the answer might, like, even if it uses my information to train, it's not anything very new. Right? It's just a standard normal thing. So it's not a big difference the AI is going to make, right? But if I put, like, let's say I came up with a very secretive thing, or I have access to a secret, right? So the secret could be, let's say, a company secret, right? Like, say, like, as you know, companies like Coca-Cola have secret, right? So let's say I have that secret and I put that to a chat GPT to ask, let's say I wanted to make a infographics with my Coca-Cola secret so that I can share it, I can keep it nicely. So I put that in. Then that secret is not anywhere else. It's just only with me. The novel idea is the same thing. It's only with me. So if I put it in, it could come out when somebody else asks, because it's got trained with it. And also it's a new special thing. It's not there in the other play. Other people don't know. Not like the depression example where a lot of people have. Right? So therefore this unique special things can come out in other places because there's no other such thing. So my thing will be the thing that got trained. Right? So if it is a common thing, maybe it won't, because it's just a lot of people have it and it's just the same thing. So it is going to be like put together, generalized. But special things, yes. So the answer to that question is yes. In fact, like such thing has happened. I can't right now remember the name of the company. There's this one company who had a company secret or a trade secret, and the employer put it, one of the employees who had access to that secret, put it out because they wanted to prepare a report or some analysis, something. And then another company, a competitor company, was asking a question about it, and they got it because it's a unique thing. It only had, this company had that secret, and then the secret was out. Right? So it came and it was in the news. It was about 2 years ago. So such things are possible. But how do we avoid? One, don't put those secrets. Other one is, what I said is, like, it's a private, like the tool, if it is free, it's always getting your data. But if you are using a paid tool, some of the paid tool has options which claim or which agrees with us, the payee, that they won't take that information for training. So that's one other option. The third option, we being engineers, is to have the AI system locally put. So we don't use a public system. We have our own AI system for us to use. So the secret remains within the institution or within the servers that we maintain. Okay.
That's a very valuable question. And again, if I share a few more. This is in the previous question also. So the one thing is, like, actually I can be a great collaborator rather than being an author or something like that. At the same time, I have a question, like, in some examples, this is another one, like irresponsible use of AI. Some informations we gathered from some other places. Sometimes when you do it without when you use it in proper way, we can see this kind of mistakes in articles as well. We can, like, the point is, like, that it can generate the content, as you said, within a second, for even the some questions, assignments, even generating report and all. But who is going to be responsible if something is generated? For an example, if you look at people, they might generate let's say they are generating already a kind of design. And finally, in the final run, we realized the design is wrong. That's generated with the AI support. And then in that case, who is responsible? Is that the responsibility of AI or the engineer or our undergraduate student? Who is responsible in that aspect? How do we recognize this part? Who is accountable?
Yeah, so I think that's sort of simple now. It used to be confusing earlier, but now, okay, at least for things like writing, right? Things like generating, the responsibility is with the one who is generating it, right? But AI system is not only about generating. So generating is the very common example, and all what we are mostly discussing is generative AI and for generating. But being engineers, we also have AI systems in a lot of other places. Like for example, self-driving car, right? So a car or a vehicle, self-driving vehicle. When you have a self-driving vehicle, or when you have a big engine, a big system or a big machine which uses AI, or let's say an engineer puts AI or team puts AI to it, and it makes decisions. Self-driving cars is making decision every second or every millisecond. Right? So those decisions, if due to such decisions something bad happens, let's say to one of those decisions, an accident happened, who is going to take the responsibility? Those are still very ethical, difficult question to answer. So some of these questions we would have had, like for example, questions like these questions are like interview questions asked, right? For example, so, like this railway question. There's a railway track, two roads, two railway tracks, and a train engine coming. And one route is the normal one where there is only one, there are a lot of people playing, and there's a bypass which is that's normally it's not used, it's unused track, but there's only one child playing. Which one would you take? Right. So such questions are like ethical questions too. These are asked in places to find the ethical orientation of people, right? But these are more like ethical orientation of people in earlier, before AI. They used to be just ethical questions they asked in interviews. Nobody bother about it when it really happens. Let's say when it really happens, an engine driver drives and the driver does this or that. They are not going to be punished because they do this or that. They can do both. They are not going to be punished whether they are going on the same route or whether they take the other route. Right? They're not going to be punished, right? Because that situation, what happened, maybe there's 100 other things that have happened at that situation. Like people in that situation, what happened, we don't know. We just are putting and asking questions, but in reality, it might be different. Same applies for other things. For example, because what I mean by that is it's not predetermined. These are things people don't decide early. Okay, if this happened, let's say we are going on the road, driving really fast, highway, expressway, and an animal come or a person come. What do we do? Right? So these are things that we don't plan and do, program and do, or systematically decide and do. Right? But when you put AI to make these decisions, we are going to decide, predetermine those, because AI systems are going to build like that, right? So if it is this, do this. If it is that, do that, right? So these things are going to be predetermined. So then who takes the responsibility? Do the people who predetermine them will take the decision responsibility, or the one who is in the vehicle who is not really driving but the owner of the vehicle take the responsibility? Those are questions which we don't still have proper answers. There are some thoughts, some ideas, some philosophical thinking behind it, but those are more detailed. Because we are talking about engineers, we'll also have to go there. But immediately, yes, for the question that you asked, things like writing, things like assignment, things like generative AI things, the one who is generating is the one who is responsible. Right? So not the company or not the AI or not the people who gave data to make those AI. No, right? It's just the one who is generating. Because like you said, AI, even if you use AI systems now for generating, the author who takes the responsibility is you, like the one who is writing. Even if you are submitting an answer, you don't say, okay, I did half of it, I did half of it, and therefore give half marks to AI and half marks to me, right? So the full marks is given to you, right? So therefore it's you. You are the one who is responsible, not partly AI.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to ask the one last question from you before we are explaining about our LMS access and how to get their certificate as the last part of this today schedule. Actually, if we let's say for example these all like right now also we can figure out that so many AI tools are introducing, lot of things are happening in this AI era, and for as an engineering undergraduate student, like how to be ahead of this AI curve, how to understand what's really happening, because we couldn't be in these AI activities all day and understand what's happening there and all, but we want to be ahead of this AI, how they are going to practice, what kind of environment they want to have to be like not survive, but how to thrive in this AI era as an engineering undergraduate student to face the future.
Okay, so I think literacy is obvious, right? So it's not, we have to go beyond literacy, obviously, because we are engineers. Like I told you, the literacy we are covering are for everyone, right? So it includes engineering, it includes students, it includes engineering students, it includes like citizens, but at different levels. In fact, but for you, we had to go beyond. Let me just show you a small another AI generated. Okay, it's here. So let me just show you this. This is I'm calling it an AI literacy pyramid, right? So we are what we are normally covering right now is at the lower level, right? So those are important, right? But it's important for everybody. But how engineers had to do is go beyond, right? So they'll have to go beyond and they'll have to become leaders and creators of systems that can use AI for decision making, improving, and so on. Right, the lowest level you can see, we had to be aware, we had to be users, proper users, and we'll have to be also evaluators, meaning knowing whether AI systems are good, bad, where they can do well, where they can't do well, what are the problems they have, that sort of things. Those are things that we'll have to have, but on top of it, we have to become creators. Build AI supported workflows. So workflows can be for any processes, right? Any system, and also become a leader. So the one who can be running and managing and executing systems, companies, industries. They take decisions. You can use AI to make decisions, but at the same time, they also can make decisions by looking at other aspects like people and how they are affected and how the system can help people and improve and so on. So engineers, so AI literacy is not about becoming an engineer, but how we can develop the ability to understand, use, and question AI, plus how we can become a leader on it. So how do we do it? Particularly, part of it is to understand how good AI systems are and how fast they grow. I'll show you a couple of videos to show you how fast AI systems are growing, right? But it grows really fast. The technology is growing super fast, like exponentially fast. So in fact, like the foundation or the fundamental course has a module on how you can be ahead of the curve, or we call it like knowing what's going on, learning and keeping you up to date on what's happening. So engineers, if you want to be creators and leaders, we'll have to be also up to date to be there, right? So be in front of the changes, the advancement that are happening. Then only we can also know, okay, these are the these are the possibilities. So the key is this, right? The key is for engineers to know the possibilities. What are possible? What are the technologically possible things? And that is the technology side of it, the AI side of it. What are the possibilities? So I simply said it as application earlier, but if it's engineering, it's about building those systems. So we'll have to know what are the possibilities with AI systems. Then the engineers have to be human and also engineers, people, to make the right decision. Which one of this can be applied? Which one of this can be taken and done? And which one we should not do? So we had to be people. We had to have the right people skill to do the decision making and apply it. So it's actually in a simple way AI literacy, but it's in a very high level, creative and leadership level. Right, so that's what has to happen. But just to give you an idea, right? So how fast this technology is growing, I'll show you two small videos. It might take about 5 minutes. I'll just quickly find that video and then I'll finish. So this video is on humanoid robots. So let me share the screen. Sound. Right, so this is from China, and this sort of show they do it in their spring festival. So their spring festival is right during their New Year. Chinese New Year happens usually in February, as you might know. And this is a video of a humanoid robot. So why humanoid robots are very much connected to AI? I don't think I had to tell you this for engineers. And robots are like a lot of different engineering field, almost all the engineering field involved, right? So why AI is important is because particularly things like humanoid robot, starting from their balancing and standing, everything is intelligence. So we can't put the robots to stand and walk if you don't have decision making intelligence to decide how to balance, how to put those motors together. I don't have to tell you, right? So see, this is a video of a robot, like a robo set of robots, humanoids. Later. So this might not be so impressive for a general public because they have no idea how difficult it is to build a robot and make it to dance like this. But engineers, we should appreciate, right? So how impressive they are. Yeah, there is something very simple. Simple dance. And their hands, something like this. It's not impressive. Yeah. So this is not so impressive for us because it's just a motor that hits some place, right? So we know it's easy to do compared to balancing and plastic. So but in the, as you can see, it throws and touches, not very. Yeah, so we know a bit better about how challenging it is to do something like this. If you think this is, so that's a Chinese company who they're demonstrating their humanoid robots there. Right, so that is 2025. If you think this is impressive and good work, we as engineers should appreciate, we should look at the next video, which is the 2026. That was last year's. The previous one was last year's the Spring Festival. This is this year's Spring Festival, and look at the robots now. The same company, it's the same robots, a bit improved. You can already see the robot standing, right? Now you should be impressed, right? So this is beyond. So you can see like what they can do now. interest of time. You can see still they are like a bit struggling to settle down and balance, but how difficult such task is, and within a year how much improvement the company was able to make. It was able to do it not just because the other technologies have improved a lot, but AI, the machines, like the smart, the intelligence of it, and how we can control all these different parts of the limb and different motors and actuators, whatnot, all of that together, and the sensors, and how it can be done. So the point is not just about that. The point is we had to keep up to date. We had to see how technology can so quickly change the way how we can do things, particularly here engineering things. And by doing so, we are able to sort of like advance things so fast, right? So we'll have to keep up to date, and that is the way to go. And I hope the course you are going to all start will help you do it in